Let's move on now. The U.S. president's latest immigration crackdown has stirred legal trouble for the administration. On Saturday night, Trump's orders were put in motion when planes carrying over 250 Venezuelan immigrants took off. U.S. says these men are allegedly gang members and criminals, but their deportation seems to have dismissed an order of the American judiciary. Now, the federal judge has questioned the administration on why authorities failed to only heed to the court order. The judge in question had ordered the flights to be turned around on Saturday. The White House will be answering court's questions in just 2 hours from now. Ahead of the hearing, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt raised questions on the powers of the verbal or of a verbal court order over a written one.
All of the planes that were subject to the written order, the judge's written order, took off before the order was entered in the courtroom on Saturday.
But what about the verbal order, which of course carries the same legal weight as a written order, and said for the planes to turn around if
Well, there's actually questions about whether a verbal order carries the same weight as a legal order, as a written order, and our lawyers are determined to ask and answer those questions in court.
The response comes after confusion and criticism over the Trump administration choosing to not pay heed to a verbal order given by the judge on Saturday, after lawyers told the judge that planes with deportees already had taken off. He reportedly gave a verbal order for the flights to turn back immediately, but this directive was not included in a written ruling that was published after. However, there is growing public discourse that authorities had the opportunity to stop the deportation, at least partially. On Saturday, U.S. President Donald Trump had invoked an 18th century archaic law to allow for more than 250 alleged gang members from Venezuela to be deported. The Alien Enemies Act was last used during World War II and has been implemented in the past to deport non-citizens during wartime. And according to Trump, what America is witnessing is worse than war, but many disagree with Trump's actions. Let's now talk to our correspondent in America. Susan Teherani is now joining us from New York. Hi, Susan. Good to see you. Help me understand this. I just listened to Caroline Leavitt and I was nodding my head and I was shaking my head. What does she mean by saying that a verbal order is not different to a written order and you cannot take a verbal order seriously? I don't know what she was saying.
Yeah, you know, the conflicts within the executive branch and the judiciary branch has always been a focal point in constitutional law here in the United States. And a lot of people are confused as to which path is the right path. And, you know, so you're not the only one. Eric, according to Marco Rubio and the Trump administration, this plane was already in international skies when that judge, which is a district judge, doesn't have jurisdiction on executive actions, place that verbal order. So I guess there's a constitutional clause now in question on whether or not the president can enact his executive branch authority, which is the executive power, and deport individuals or groups that are considered a threat to the nation. On the other hand, the judiciary branch and those that support this judge say that everyone deserves a due process. So that's where the conflict is at this point. But in terms of these 250 and so individuals, as you rightly note, the conflict right now is whether or not that judge was on time in his verbal order. And second of all, does he even have any jurisdiction when a plane is already in international skies and has left the United States? So we'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see. And it seems like the drama still unfolds. So we'll wait and see and watch how the drama still unfolds. Susan Teherani, thank you.